Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Senator Abdul Ningi, and I represent Bauchi Central of Bauchi State. Mr. President, this is a bill about cassava, and therefore, in the argument being debated, you look at the merits of why this bill is necessary and why this bill is important. And I have listened attentively to the Deputy Senate President, and I think he has captured the essence of this bill. First and foremost, the argument about wheat, much as it is important, but it is also imperative for people to be aware that we import wheat. And it is the importation of wheat that has taken a lot of our income. The bottom line and the question, do we also import cassava? The argument is no. Do we grow cassava in Nigeria? The argument is yes. 36 states out of 36 states, including FCT, grows cassava, and therefore cassava is like an inheritance to Nigeria. It is something that is grown here, and it is something that must be encouraged. First thing first, do we have availability of cassava to be able to take the place of wheat? The answer is no. And why don't we have the availability of cassava? Because there are no laid down regulations that will encourage the production of cassava. This is what this bill is about. And to further buttress the argument that this bill is all encompassing, look at objectives of the bill, particularly number 4, provide a tax regime and incentives for producers of mixed wheat and cassava flours and wheat importers who include cassava flour in imported wheat. So the issue of wheat has been clearly taken care of. But what is important is like what the Deputy Senate, the former Senate President said. What do we do as a country in order for us, once this bill passes through, to be able to take advantage and give the deliverables for an average Nigerian to benefit from it? This bill, Mr. President, is apt, is timely, and it is important for people to recognize that cassava, once we pay attention to it, will now plug the gap of the revenues, of the hard-earned revenues that we use to import wheat. So when you bring the argument of including wheat, I think you are begging the question. But this bill is about cassava. And because cassava is inherent, we are the largest producers of cassava in Africa and even in the world. So we must take advantage about getting cassava availability to Nigerians to add value to the flour, to the bread making mechanisms. So I think it is important to separate these things, and at the end of the day, you take it to the public hearing. Most of the arguments I have had today are arguments that will be heard during the public hearing. So therefore, a bill at the second reading is about the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I think this bill has merit enough argument to have it pass through this second reading. And I so support that this bill should pass through second reading. Thank you.
Thank you, distinguished colleagues. Those who support that this bill be now read a second time, say aye. Those against say nay.